At times, we all feel lost and in search of something more. This is Cristina Dam, and this is Liberate the podcast, a podcast designed to help inspire and guide you forward through everything spirituality, creativity, art, and just giving you a sense of empowerment so that you can be powerful, be magical, and be free. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Liberate the Podcast. Today, we're welcoming back Kimberly Meredith. So we did another podcast with her that you get to hear her whole story. She is a best-selling author right now. She has a new book that just came out, this beauty right here. It's in 2 different publishing forms. This is Awaken to the Fifth Dimension. And you have the other one, Kimberly. Yes. And so you can find both of these books. We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be talking a lot about the fifth dimension, but I do feel that it's really would be beneficial for everybody to hear Kimberly's story of how she got her beautiful medical intuitive gifts. And, you know, that's what we talked about in the last podcast. So if you're liking the content that's in this one, go back to that one. We're linked it down below, and it's going to be amazing because it was one of the best podcasts I've ever did. So welcome, Kimberly. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me. I'm really honored.
I'm honored to have you back, and it's been a few years, and there's been tremendous growth, and even more downloads that you've gotten, and then this beautiful book that has come out, and a lot of talk about the fifth dimension, and that's a buzzword that's out in the spiritual community, but a lot of people don't fully understand what is the fifth dimension, what dimension are we kind of like in here, and all of this other stuff. So I just want to give you the floor for a little bit, and you know, I have some questions I want to ask, but I want you to start a little bit. If you want to share a little bit more about yourself too, for those that don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, I think right now is a time where we are really moving out of a third dimensional frequency, and we're actually being forced to move out of it because we don't want to be in fear anymore. We don't want to have dis-ease going on. And living in this third dimensional frequency and discovering that we want to have a time in our life, and this time is happening where we want to live in our truth. We want to experience our gifts. We want to be brought into this higher dimension, which is the fifth dimension. And in the fifth dimension, there's a lot of dimensions. There's even beyond the fifth dimension, but starting in the fifth dimension where we can experience miracles, where we can experience love, kindness, joy, peace. And when we get in that fifth dimensional frequency, it's like when people say, oh, you're in the zone, you're accomplishing what you really want to accomplish in your life. And you're doing it with freedom, and it's easy, and it feels amazing. And that's when you're in that dimension where someone may say, well, I had a session with you today, and I felt good, amazing, and the healing worked. That's the fifth dimension. Some people may say, well, is it a religion? No. Is it being spiritual? Yes, but it's even beyond that because you're feeling like it's almost like it's unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, but it's beyond that because you're experiencing what we were meant to experience when we came into the world from the beginning. There's no judgment. There's no somebody saying to you, oh, you have to do it right now, because what's happening is that we are doing it without even wanting to do it because we're moving into this age of Aquarius.
So to like kind of summarize that, it's like the vibration of everything in a way, that unconditional love, but it's that pure channel that, you know, kids are brought in with it, or babies, or you know, where they're just in alignment with something beyond just their self, right? And it's in that kind of miracle space that, you know, I can say miracles can happen, but healing, work, transformation, you know, but it's the divine.
Yeah. So anybody, I feel, is able to tap into this fifth dimensional consciousness if you are open to actually understanding that it is so infinite. There's no time or space. So meaning that, for instance, like I was healed through the fifth dimension when I had my near-death experience, and I had this amazing transformation afterwards where I became a full-blown trance channeler and medium. But not only do I do my medical mediumship, I also help people heal. And in the healing, people are healed of many types of emotional distress and also physical ailments, but they're healed in this fifth dimensional frequency.
And it happens like this a lot of times.
When
Some of it takes a few sessions, but I've seen her doing, one of the bigger classes, and people come up and have these massive transformations. I mean, this could be, when you say physical, I'm going to say like, tumors, cancer, dislocated ligaments, pain, all of this stuff that could be on the physical form, but also, people hold on to a lot of emotional pain and garbage that they carry with them, and that ability to shift that and, in that moment or those few moments, right? When you're in that space of anything's possible, because you are vibrating at a frequency that allows a shift.
Yes. So when you talk about your brain is a computer, and your brain has the ability to tap into this higher frequency and consciousness. And when you're in this dimensional frequency, you can accomplish anything you want. And that is this zone. And so if you have an energy, so I don't call cancer, I call it a negative energy. And if you are in this higher dimensional frequency, which is the fifth dimension, and you say, I'm love and I'm light and I am in the fifth dimension, and you are working with somebody and you are going into this frequency and you want it out of your body, there are exercises and practices in my book that help you to push that energy out of your body. And when you witness this, it's amazing. You see it gone. And when it's gone and out of you, you then can see how powerful you are. Not only that it has been released out of you, but how you can take control over anything in your body and your life with your health, with your work, with your whole entire being, moving yourself into this dimensional frequency. And so this book, why I wrote it, was not only to help you heal your physical body, but also your emotional self moving into the fifth dimension and beyond.
Which a lot of times the emotional problem is what's causing the physical, and it's like inviting that energy continues to then cause a blockage, right?
Right.
And I love how you say that it's empowering the person, right? It's like you might be the channel that helps them activate that or tap into that or rise to that. But then once somebody does it, they can start to figure out that they can do this too, and that they can tap in and start to make changes in their life, which, is so good because it doesn't stop anywhere. It's like, okay, this is a progression towards transformation for people. And I mean, I think anybody that's watching this right now sees the world. And we've been in a very interesting space, and a lot of more emotional weight and heaviness and vibration has been plaguing every continent of the world. And the byproducts of that and what that's going to do to people's physical health in the next few years if they don't overcome that, you have... I saw that there was a 60,000 kids increase in kids diagnosed with depression in Europe, in the UK alone. 60,000 kids diagnosed with depression over the pandemic, right? The severe isolation. So what is this, like we are living in this time where we have to, in society and individuals, and, you might be like, okay, my problem's small right now, but a small problem not treated becomes a big problem. And then that's, a few years later, it's like, oh, I have breast cancer, hip cancer, or this, or I have a tumor here, or this or that, or, I got, whatever, high blood pressure, or anything else, it's like, where does that go? And so I think that this is so relevant. And the fact that in these books, you have the tools to start to change your life, right? So if you don't want to get a session one-on-one, I highly recommend, but there's also the book to start there and start to say, hey, if you're listening, there's a reason you're listening. If there's tapping in, it's tapping in,
Absolutely. You bring up a really important point, which is that not only are children and families and adults living in fear and living and hearing all of these stories and the actuality of people being sick emotionally and physically right now, there's 85% people eating food and drinking, water out of plastic containers and eating lots of things that are not great for us and hearing things and suffering from depression, which is also caused from food that we eat and drink and things that are not good for us. And this emotional percentage of people that are severely depressed.
Yeah.
And all of this goes together with everything that we're talking about, which is in my world that I understand from my guides is the third dimension. The good news is, though, we are becoming more and more educated how to move out of that world. And the world is actually shifting, even though we see it so dark and doom and gloom. We are really shifting and getting more educated about moving into this dimension. In this dimension, the fifth dimension, it is here for you. We are here for you, the guides and other people out there, global speakers. We are here for you to help invite you to understand that not only are there so many ways to raise your vibration in your body through eating well, through eating and drinking good water, and taking good supplements and vitamins and meditating and reaching out to people that are like-minded. So anyway, there's many, many good things to do, and including the chakras. Yeah, that we're going to do.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. So I just want people to understand that whether we wanted this to happen or not, I want to just explain, we had to move out of the third dimension, that there was no other way to do it. That the energy of the Holy One, the higher source spirit, is making us move out of the third dimension.
And you bring up so many good points in that too.
We had to move.
I was sitting while you were talking, and it's like that sometimes and oftentimes, things get messy before they get better, right?
Absolutely.
Even you had your awakening due to near-death experience that brought you into a higher vibration and alignment, right? And so it doesn't sometimes need to be that tragic for people, but if on a planetary level, we are shifting, and sometimes we need, destruction. It's like the Tower card in the tarot, where it's like, you buy a house that's falling apart. It's like you can try to patch it up all you want, but maybe it just needs to be bulldozed and rebuilt,
Yes.
And that might be what kind of is happening, so that we can have this new pristine level of society and vibration and collective consciousness. And, so I'm hearing hang in there, and there's tools. But let's get talking into how the chakras, right? And the fifth dimension in relationship to the chakras, how to heal those chakras, and everything along those lines.
Exactly. And exactly what you're saying is what they're saying. The guides are right on the same timeline as what you're saying. The timeline is unfortunately and fortunately exactly where we're at in history, is following in the same space. They're talking about the chakras because what's happening is most of my clients that come to me are having a lot of issues with their throat chakra and their root chakra.
Interesting.
And that is the two main chakras that's going on right now with a lot of my clients, which throat chakra has a lot to do with the thyroid and speaking out and communicating right now. And
I think we see that, no political views here, but there's just censorship and different things, and people getting mad at people for speaking one way to another, where I think collectively, no matter where people are on whatever spectrum, they're scared to speak because of the over polarity that is going on, where it's like, I can't even give an opinion one way or another. I mean, look at even how I'm like acting right now. It's like, okay, well, just clearing this, no political agenda here, no view, but it's like people are afraid to speak what's really there because there's this massive cancel culture that's going on. There's this massive shame, and there's such opinions one way or another. So that's interesting. You say so much in the throat. So what's the healing of that, and how do we, get beyond that?
Thank you. Yeah. So I feel that when I do my scanning and I do the mediumship, I find a lot of issues with the masculine and divine feminine energy going on with the struggle of that too. I find that a lot of male and female and children even are struggling with speaking out their truth, feeling, especially with a lot of feminine and masculine energy, feeling like they have to constantly be pulling more from the masculine energy, that they feel that in order to survive in a third dimensional world, that they have to feel more masculine to get their point across, which then starts to not only have a thyroid issue, but it also goes down the whole left side of the body, which starts to affect the heart, the left side of the ovary, the whole entire hormonal frequency in the body, meaning a lot of women that want to feel more divine feminine and have a more soft-spoken energy to get their point across, running huge corporations, maybe political world, whatever it may be, don't have to be angry and frustrated and feeling that way, could speak in a more calm, gentle, loving way, feel forced to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
And that throws the thyroid off and the hormone. And same thing with men. There's no reason for us to be angry and frustrated like that, but this is what's happening to us. And then the thyroid and the hormones raises the cortisol level. I could go on and on about this.
Yeah.
And then once the cortisol level is raised, then the body has a reaction to it. And then all of a sudden, all of the hormones and everything goes wonky.
Yeah.
So this is a reaction through the whole entire system. Then when I'm scanning the body, I will go on. I start to go through the whole entire endocrine system. I find adrenal problems. Then maybe a heart condition starts to happen. But then through the chakra healing, of course, you become much better.
Yeah.
And then I will go down the body and find a lot of issues with the root chakra.
And what's going on with the root, and why is that one of the charging points?
Yeah. The charging of the root chakra then, of course, is the first chakra in the body, which is the color of the red light. And of course, the root chakra is feeling right now, it does go along with what you're saying, of course, is the world right now is very unsteady and uneasy. And I feel I'm getting goosebumps. We don't know what's happening right now in our world. So we feel kind of uneasy. And it's everybody right now. I feel a lot of uneasiness. I'm getting really a lot of chills. Very uneasy. We don't kind of know.
In that survival,
We're in survival.
Like a lot of people are panicked. Yeah. Their jobs or their world or their financial stability. You have the stock market crashing. You have inflation going up. You have, potential world war, and people are like, You enjoying this so far? Did you forget to subscribe? Make sure to do so. Takes 2 seconds. Just press that little button, the red one. You know the one. Just press it, little like. All right, enjoy the rest of this content. What are some of the ailments that start to come out of the first with the root chakra?
In the root chakra, I find, especially in female women, I find a lot of uteruses being removed. I find fibroids, cysts. I find some of the most beautiful sessions I've had, a lot of crying, releasing, forgiveness going on, a lot of success with healing root chakra and feminine issues like that. And with men, unfortunately, I have found a lot of prostate cancers and lots of things, but a lot of success with healing. Yeah. And it's one of my chapters. It's 5th and 6th chapter in my book. When I was writing the book, I was drawn, the guides drew me to write a chapter, these 2 chapters about chakras, because of the calling on of knowing that when you heal the chakras, you heal your body and you heal your mind. And when your chakras are healed and aligned, then your immune system is healed. So every day I feel, it's not every day, but if you do at least 2 or 3 times a week, these chakra healing exercises, then it does really boost your immune system. And as I go along in a body during my session and I go through, and my guides will blink which chakra is off for a person, and somebody does a healing, and then they follow with not only supplements and vitamins you can take also to help your chakras, and food is important. So say your sacral chakra is not working right or your root chakra is out of balance, there's actually foods that can complement to heal your body along with the energy healing. Also, when I work with people with their chakras, I use the energy with my hands, with the guides, and push energy healing into the chakra. And I can see the color going into the body.
I was just going to ask you, what do you see? You know?
Yeah. And I can see if the person, actually my eyes will tell me if the person is worthy or feels worthy, their ego feels worthy of accepting the healing.
That's interesting. And the accepting of the healing, where do you find that sometimes when there's a karmic lesson to the to some of the pain or the things that they go through, like whether there's something that's to be learned, right?
Yes.
You know, because sometimes that manifests in the chakras too. It's like,
absolutely.
You know, like we were saying before, sometimes our greatest disasters or pains are good gifts, right? You know, so do you find that sometimes resistance in that healing or anything along those lines that happen when people are meant to learn things?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I feel some people are just not ready to go through certain experiences of evolving in this lifetime. And some people are really super excited about moving forward in this life, into this experience. And I feel that we're not to judge other people's experiences when they are, when they're not. And I feel that most people are going to be super excited and are right now about moving forward.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I feel a lot of people are ready to, you know, move forward.
But we want to get out of the 3D.
But sometimes when you were saying about like the not willing to receive because they don't feel worthy of it, it's like, okay, maybe there's a self-worthy lesson that needs to be learned. And once they learn that, or, you know, they learn that they are worthy, that they can have, or they can allow themselves to then assist in that healing process.
Yes, and the answer the guides are saying is in the forgiveness. They do a forgiveness prayer or a release, and once they move after that forgiveness, then they can receive.
Makes perfect sense too. Yeah, because so much of why we feel unworthy is we have guilt or we have things that we regret that we haven't, or anger towards another. And when we release that and forgive, it's like, okay, everything's okay. I can just be present. Now, how, you know, is there like an exercise or something that you could give somebody that is listening to like help them tap into that fifth dimension to feel that vibration if they can, you know, right now?
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of exercises and
I mean, like one that's a little short, that won't take too much time, you know, that, but just to give people a taste of what is in the book and also what being with you and working with you is like, right?
Okay. Yeah. So I like to do one every day. I do a lot of this with my clients. I like to activate our hands, like just getting them super, 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 super hot. The more that you activate your palms, and I'll put them up to everybody so you can look at my palms and get the energy healing from my palms. When I was born as a baby, they were super hot. And every day I feel them, they burn. They're like really, really hot. Sorry. So if you activate your palms right now, super, super hot, and it's called the Jing in your hands going. And then I would put them right now. The guides are telling me to put them around your throat. And let's do a healing around our throat chakra. And just place them around your throat. And just here in your, here, I am love, and you can say it out loud. I am love, and I am light, and I am blessed, and I am joy. And I am activating my throat chakra to the clearest and most loving healing right now. And then go all the way forward to your throat and then down into your Adamapple and swallow. And I'm sending all of you love and light and healing right now and blessings. And I'm just going right into your throat and then swallow. And then as you watch me go right into your heart chakra, put your hand right there. Good. And I'm sending you love and healing right now to everybody watching. And then as you're having your right hand on your heart, as you take the left hand, wave it across. Your spirit guides and your angels are with you. Put it over your right hand. And I'm calling in the Virgin Mary to heal you. Heal all past wounds and hurt in your heart. And I'm just going to send a beautiful healing to you from the Virgin Mary. And here again, I am love and I am light and I am healed. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was powerful. I hope everybody felt that power. And if you were listening while you were driving or so, make sure that you go back and listen to that when you can just be a little bit present, so that you can get just, brief little tastes and start to heal your throat chakra. So one of the biggest problems that we have going on can start to be healed, right?
Yes.
What else? Let's talk a little bit more about this book. So you have it also in 2 different forms of publishing, right? Because you are now a Hay House author too. So congratulations. It's
Thank
a
you.
big accomplishment. I have a lot of respect for Hay House, and they put out amazing authors just like yourself. And so where can they find these books? And then I want to share a little bit more about it, but I know that you've been having that book in your hand and maybe we can set it down. So
Yeah. So, the St. Martin's is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everywhere books are sold right now. And it's also in audio.
Okay.
And the Hay House is right here. It's a different a little different cover.
Yeah, it's got a brighter cover.
Yeah, it's got
the St. Martin's is hardcover, and do you have a soft cover in St. Martin's too, or the one hardcover, one soft cover?
St. Martin's is a hardcover, and then Hay House is a soft cover. It's kind of got that Louise Hay feel.
Awesome. And where can you find the Hay House one?
Hay House is in the UK.
Okay,
but it's on Amazon too.
Okay. All right. So if you want the soft cover, you're getting this one with this beautiful color vibration. And if you prefer the hardcover, it's St. Martin's. But that's amazing. 2 different publishers and getting this out in different areas and in the UK, the US. People need this, They need it so much. Now, I know that there's a couple more things to talk about within the book. What else would you like to share?
I'd like to share that there's a lot of information about, there's documented miracle healings in the back. Oh
yeah, I wanted to one of the things that I wanted to bring up was healing, some of the healings that you've done. And, it's one thing for people to read this book and have these exercises and start to shift. And you might have complete healing miracles just through that. But when people work with you one-on-one or even through some of the bigger events that you do, the transformation, and to share with people some case studies, some clients, keeping the confidentiality of that client, but about what they had, what they came in with, and how things shifted for them.
Yes, thank you. These case studies have been documented. They're scientists and doctors released that they could be in the book, and they've given permission. And these are just some of them. These have been healings that have taken place, and they were taken place and healed through me, but through the Holy Spirit doing the energy healing work on these cases. One of them was some of them were pre-detected through Skypes.
Okay.
So I'm like a person that is used through the Holy Spirit to pre-detect illnesses.
Okay.
So one was a lady, I could talk about one, was a lady that did a Skype session with me. And she came on to talk about a problem she was having with her fiance. And so for an example, she was just having an issue that was going on. And when I saw her on the Skype session, I kept hearing through the guides that she had a breast lump in her breast. And the guides were listening to her, of course, about her issues with her very, very big entrepreneur. She has a beauty shop, beautiful woman. But they just kept hearing, you have a breast lump. You have a breast lump. You have a breast lump. And the breast lump was not good. How I know it's not good in somebody is I get a lot of hot flashes in my body going on. And this is something that I needed to tell her about.
Yeah.
So I said, after the session, I said, you need to get your breast lump checked out. And she said, but why? I'm fine. I said, no, you need to get the breast lump checked out. Please, just please get it checked out.
Yeah.
And she kept going like this, and nothing was there. She couldn't feel anything. Nothing. And I said, please, please get it checked out. So about a month later, she booked a session with me, and she walked into the office, and she sat down, and she had tears. She said, Kimberly, I went to the doctor, and he said, whoever the medium is, the medical medium that blinks, she saved your life.
Wow.
And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, I have 4-stage breast cancer, and I didn't know it. And he cut it out fast, and I'm healed. So I think to God, even though I had these NDEs, I'm not perfect by no means. but at least I'm here good for something. So the next thing is that one of my favorite healings I've ever done, and I could cry, is a little girl named Miranda. And her mom heard about me from somebody else that I had a healing that was very great and gracious. She came in my office. I think she's no more than 5 years old. So excited to see me. She ran in, jumped on my lap.
Aww.
And I don't know anything about it. Want to know anything about when people come in. They filled out a little form. They put it in a little envelope. And she laid on the bed, and I started to scan her. God was telling me, not good, going on in her lower intestinal tract. She had born with severe GI issues. She had an ostomy problems.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very bad. They blink where they want me to go in and rearrange her intestinal tract with my fingers.
Wow.
How to do the surgeries with my fingers. So her mother says, she kneeled down. She says,
you can do energetic surgery too.
I do.
We want to make sure people
know what I really do. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what I do. So her mother starts saying the Our Fathers and Hail Marys. And she took the crystals because she watched my videos. She was watching the videos. So she says...
So she was ready.
She was ready.
Super open.
She wanted the rose oil on her and the geranium. And she said, Hail Mary, full of grace. She started saying the Hail Marys. And I started just lightly going over her tummy. And the guides were blinking where they wanted me to go. So I was going over in a very nice, soft manner. Where the guides wanted me to go. Left eye, right eye. The right eye was saying not that way. The left eye was saying where to go. So I was just gliding my hand very softly where they wanted the upper and lower intestinal tract to go. And I was just very gently. She had her hands like this, very tiny on the table. Her mom was praying. No more than maybe 4, I don't even know. It went so fast. I don't know. I lose time. And it was very short. She jumped up. I wrote out a diet plan. I want to rearrange the diet plan for her, what she should take and eat. And they left. About 4 days later, I get an email from Mom. She says they went to the doctor. They did an MRI and a scan, and she was completely healed. Wow. Completely healed. Goosebumps again. She went back to school, having regular bowel movements. No trace of an intestinal tract issue at all. Now, this is not me. This is the Holy Spirit. Yeah. The Holy Spirit wanted her healed, and she was healed.
You're a beautiful vessel for the Holy Spirit to work through. So
she has seen me every year since. This is 3 years. She comes in the office for a visit. She loves her scans. She loves to bounce her foot down and say, I am healed. I am healed. And then this year with COVID happened, their grandpa got sick with COVID. And they wanted me to do a healing on him at UCLA in his hospital. So I did a Zoom. They said he was not going to live long. And I did a prayer through the Hail Mary, and he survived. That's not in the book, but that's one that just recently happened. This family is so amazingly in belief of the fifth dimension and of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And see,
these stories are just so beautiful.
And they're so plentiful, you know.
Yeah.
There's so many people that you've seen. I mean, you see big groups, and then you see one-on-ones, and I mean, you've seen probably thousands and thousands of people.
It's very cool.
You know, and you get to make this imprint on their life. But it's also like not even just the stories of people that you've helped and healed, but you've also been scientifically studied too, you know, on that level. So, you know, because no, there's a lot of people that, you know, some people are like, oh, this hooey-wooey new age stuff, you know, does it really work? And they want this concrete, like, where's the science behind it, you know? But there's science, and there's studies that you've worked with doctors that have done, you know?
I did 18 to 21 studies up at Dr. Norm Shealy up at his institute. I've been to IONS, Noetic Science Institute. I was locked in a Faraday cage doing multiple studies at SciTech. But then again, before me, there was a lot of other people out there doing these things. And it's funny because I didn't ever, like some people, a person asked me the other day, did you think you would ever be doing this? And I said, no. Like, no. But I love what I do, and I love helping people. I just, it's all I do. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it.
Well, I mean, when you have those beautiful transformations and stories and the people that light up, like that Meredith girl, and, you know, so much joy and passion, and you see the change that happens, and then helps you believe that, you know, we're all moving forward.